Hey, what's up guys? This is Cole with CJC Off-Road. Today we want to bring you the first phase of the build on our new shop second gen Ram. For those of you guys that had not seen the previous video, we recently acquired this 2002 Ram 2500 with a Cummins. This truck only has 41,000 original miles. I was floored when I found this thing. Super excited to go ahead and bring it here to the CJC fleet. And being that, here at CJC Off-Road, what we do is, basically focus on aftermarket parts that are designed to improve how these trucks ride and drive. We wanted to go ahead and start showcasing to you guys what can be done on this particular platform. So for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and call this the budget conscious second gen upgrade video. And what I mean by that is, we offer all kinds of components for these trucks. You could spend upwards of 15 grand on upgrades, but we want to show you guys just how much can be done to improve how these trucks ride and drive if upgrading parts on a relative budget. Now, this is phase one of this build series for this truck. There's going to be a lot more to come in the future, but for the sake of this particular build, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the heart of this suspension upgrade for this truck is actually going to be Carli's 3-inch coils. These coils net about 2.75 inches of lift on the front of these second gen Ram trucks. These are designed from the ground up by Carli Suspension to be a multi-rate coil that basically carries a lighter overall spring rate. Not only to help in terms of ride quality, but to increase suspension travel as well. So basically what that translates to is your truck isn't going to bottom out nearly as easily because of the additional travel your suspension has before it compresses, but the lighter spring rate is actually going to help with the overall ride comfort as well. Being that this truck is 24 years old now, the factory suspension does leave a lot to be desired in terms of ride quality, in terms of comfort. And these Carli coils really are one of the core elements that help to kind of bring these things up to date in terms of how they should ride and drive. With those coil springs, we actually have paired them with Carli's Signature Series shocks. Carli's Signature Series shocks are actually one of our favorite products that Carli offers. You may not have heard too much about them because a lot of times we're showcasing 2.5-inch King shocks and things like that. But these are actually one of our favorite products in the entire Carli lineup, and that's for a couple reasons. These Carli Signature Series shocks are actually the cheapest custom tuned shocks on the market. So Carli's actually done the homework, custom spec the shocks not only in terms of length and fitment on the truck, but also in terms of shock tuning. They've actually custom tuned these shocks to be paired with their coil springs. And the result is actually a really, really fantastic ride compared to stock. These shocks are designed specifically around on-road comfort, and they do feel quite a bit better than stock. And again, paired with Carli's 3-inch coil springs, this combination really is the most bang for the buck option we offer in terms of custom tuned springs and shocks for these trucks. What's really cool about these shocks, not only are they custom tuned, not only at a very reasonable price point in our opinion for custom tuned shocks, these shocks actually carry a lifetime warranty. So I bought custom spec these shocks for Carli Suspension from the ground up, and essentially these shocks were designed entirely around corrosion resistance and cold weather durability. So with those two things in mind, iBock was actually able to work with Carli in offering a lifetime warranty on these shocks. Now, if you're familiar with off-road shocks, you'll know that that is a very unusual thing in the off-road industry to have a lifetime warranty on shocks. And again, that is why we feel like, even if you're not a budget conscious customer, this is a really cool upgrade in these shocks with the lifetime warranty and the fact that, a couple years from now, if there is an issue, reach out and it gets taken care of. So cool upgrades there. And I mentioned that this is a budget-friendly video. So if you're on a tight budget and you want to improve how the truck rides and drives, running just the coils and shocks that we just talked about, that's technically all that you really need to do, right? So that you can go ahead and put those two upgrades on and actually significantly improve how the truck rides and drives. That being said, we do like to talk about the variety of other upgrades that can be done on these trucks as well. And to start, after coils and shocks, typically our next recommendation on these second-gen builds is going to be an adjustable track bar. Your truck's factory track bar, if you go ahead and level or lift the front of the truck, you keep the factory track bar in place, the axle's actually going to shift off to the side. So an adjustable track bar will actually allow you to recenter the front axle under the truck. Not only that, this truck only had 41,000 original miles on it, the stock track bar joints were already smoked. So chances are, I'd say if your truck has a stock track bar still at this point, it's a good possibility that that thing's going to be worn out by now. So enter the Apex track bar we opted for on this video. This is a budget-oriented track bar that is going to essentially accomplish what we're trying to do here. It's going to recenter your front axle, and it's actually going to help tighten up the front end compared to the stock track bar with the worn out joints. So cool budget upgrade. If you're looking for something a little higher end, we also offer Thurin and DT Profab adjustable track bars, a little higher end in terms of joint quality and things like that. Really cool upgrades as well, which we'll go ahead and link at the bottom of this video. It's not necessarily required, but we actually opted for Carli's sway bar end links. And the reason for that is for one, these trucks with the age, the stock sway bar end links are typically always worn out. And for two, when you actually add the additional travel that the Carli springs and shocks offer, over time you'll kill those stock sway bar end links. They'll bend and things like that, just due to the additional height and the additional amount of travel that the stock sway bar end links are not designed for. So upgrading these Carli sway bar end links, they are stainless in construction, very corrosion resistant, very beefy compared to the stock units, and a nice all-around upgrade for these trucks. You may notice one last thing suspension-wise we added to this build here for the sake of phase one, and that's going to be Carli's control arms. Carli's control arms offer actually quite a few benefits in terms of how they improve how these trucks ride and drive. But to start, when you go ahead and lift these trucks, say 2-3 inches, the front axle is actually going to shift a little bit toward the back of the truck with the stock control arms, and that's because those are a fixed length designed around the factory ride height. So enter Carli, they actually manufacture these heavy duty control arms. They're about 1/2 inch to 5/8 longer than the factory units. This helps both to visually recenter the front axle, if you look at the truck from the side, and the wheel well. Not only that, it's actually going to aid in terms of tire clearance, right? So when you push the front axle forward, you're pushing the tires away from the body as you turn the truck left and right, and you're actually adding quite a bit more tire clearance. So for those of you looking to run 35s or especially 37-inch tires, these are a highly recommended upgrade for these trucks. Not only these arms offer clearance benefits and axle recentering benefits, but they actually help with ride quality as well. And the reason for that is the stock control arms for these trucks utilize a vulcanized bushing. The vulcanized bushings in those stock control arms don't rotate very easily, which was fine with the stock suspension, but when you add the additional travel that the Carli springs and shocks offer, the Carli joints actually use a uniball style design that rotates a lot more easily. And believe it or not, this actually does help in terms of ride quality as well. So really cool upgrades there. Now, you might notice in the installation portion of this video, we're showing the regular Carli fabricated control arms. Really cool pieces, but we're also showing the billet control arms. This was kind of fell together last minute, but Carli needed to borrow this truck in order to prototype their new billet arms for these second gens. So say you're running stock wheels with a 37-inch tire, these billet arms we're showcasing in this video will actually help you accomplish running 37s or similar on a stock wheel and gain the clearance you need. And that is due to the additional machining you can see in the pockets on those arms. I understand that the Carli billet arms aren't a budget upgrade, but they were kind of added midstream while putting this build together. So I wanted to go ahead and show those to you guys as well. We're super excited to be able to offer those for these trucks as well. Now, if you look at this overall build, you'll notice we didn't add a ton of parts. I'd say we had coils, shocks, track bar, and links and control arms. So 5 essential, core components that this boils down to. We just want to showcase just how much can be done on a relative budget when it comes to building a second gen truck. Now you'll notice we actually managed to squeeze 37-inch tires on this build. We paired those with our CJC Edition 315 Method wheels. We're super excited actually because this is the new polished finish that Method offers for these wheels. And so we wanted to show you guys what can be done in terms of cool wheel and tire combinations. So these wheels actually carry a +25 offset, which actually keeps them fairly inset. And the really cool thing with that is we actually paired them with Toyo 37 by 12.5 by 17 RT Pros. It's one of the newest tires on the market. And this truck is actually clearing relatively well, and we haven't even trimmed the truck. So really cool with running a positive offset wheel on these second gens. If you don't mind the tucked look, which actually a lot of people prefer because it doesn't throw things up on the body, things like that, you can actually gain a lot of tire clearance as well. So those wheels and tires actually, believe it or not, cleared with both Carli's regular control arms and the high clearance arms. So either way, as long as you're running an upgraded arm like Carli's, you should be good to go with a wheel and tire combination like this. So I understand we covered a lot here. So if you guys have any questions, by all means, do not hesitate to reach out. We live and breathe this stuff. You know, we build these trucks here every day. So we're happy to help you guys answer, you know, any specific questions pertaining to your builds or to make any kind of recommendations might be helpful to you as well. So we hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the next one.